Guys, I get this. Okay, sorry. I want to and an angle. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Welcome to Trashy Stupid Fun. Since I last left you, what talked about? You know what? Actually, well, no. I'm going to talk about it. Last night I watched an hour-long movie called Teenage Strangler, and it was a really bad. It was a really bad movie, but it was really entertaining because it was so bad. It's basically about a strangler who strangles teenage girls with their pantyhose for some reason. They don't really explain it, and whatever. At the end, the killer explains his motive or whatever, but it's kind of half-assed. Anyways, these girls are getting killed by the strangler, and the kids are kind of scared, but not really concerned at the same time. They think the police think a gang member did it. So they're kind of riding the gang guys really hard, and for some reason there's a couple musical numbers in this movie for no reason at all. There's one right towards the start of the movie. They're all in this diner, and this girl all of a sudden gets up on the counter and starts dancing, and it's just so random. And there's not much plot. There's just not much going on in this movie. I gotta say, it was just weird. And then I later found out that this was an MST3K episode too. So I started watching that. I didn't finish it. I started watching it. It was pretty funny. And some of the riffs they did, I kind of foresaw before I watched it, because there's one, the main guy. There's the main boy that they're prosecuting or whatever. The thing is their main suspect, named Jimmy, and he his younger brother is this really dorky, I don't know, and he kind of looks like Waldo. So I was like, oh, I found Waldo, or I found hipster looking Waldo. That's what he looked like. And they made a Waldo joke about that. So there were some jokes that I was kind of right about, but I don't know. It was really bad, really bad acting. Really, it was awful. But I just had to talk about that. And this is my 49th episode, so I might just ramble about stuff before. As I told you before, my 50th episode is going to be Man the Hands of Fate, because that's what I'm going to be seeing in 2 weeks. The big screen. I've been wanting to see a big cult movie on the big screen for a long time. The closest I got was seeing Singing in the Rain. And I don't know if that's really a cult film, but I mean, it has a cult following of sorts, but it's not really what I'd call a cult film. Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. It's way too popular to be really considered a cult film, but I don't know. Some might still call it a cult film, I don't know. But I think that's the closest thing I've seen to a cult film on the big screen was Singing in the Rain. But this will be awesome, because this is a really bad, it's a bad movie, but it's a fun bad movie, and I'm just really looking forward to it. It's the Riff Tracks. I'm babbling. It's the Riff Tracks live Man with the Hands of Fate, and I'm just really looking forward to this. And I later found out that for October they're doing Birdemic, which I would love to see that on the big screen. I am hoping they come to our theater again for that. I would love to see that one as well. That's right around Halloween time, so that would be fun. There's just not a lot going on. What have I watched lately, even? Let me check my list, because I think there might be other movies I could be talking about, just to fill up some space. Oh yeah, I also saw Eyes Without a Face recently. That was a really good movie. Really good and creepy. Yeah. It's a French film, and it's about a guy whose daughter got in an accident. I guess I'm kind of off Teenage Strangler. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, it was just okay. Yeah, it's a really stupid movie. But anyways, I'm going to move right on to Eyes Without a Face, which was a really good French horror film. Or it's kind of just maybe a a thriller of sorts. It's not really a horror film, but it's about a guy whose daughter got in an accident that took off her face. So he's out kidnapping girls to take their faces and give them to his daughter. Although, I mean, he does it the first time, for that reason. And then I'm not going to give the whole plot away, but that's the basic plot. Is this guy is looking for a new face for his daughter, and he just goes to crazy lengths to get it, and he has this assistant. He has a female assistant that kidnaps these girls for him. She's very trusting. And, yeah, it's a really good movie. Really creepy, really, a lot of great imagery. They actually show the surgery of them taking off this girl's face while she's under. And it's really, this was from the 60s, and it was still really graphic for the time, I think. Others have, kind of compared this movie to, the face-off scene in Face-Off, or the taking off the face thing. But I've also seen it done in Nip Tuck. They had a face transplant episode or whatever, and that kind of made me think of that too, because it was kind of the same thing going on. Well, not really. This person actually needed a new face. I forget why. It was just it was a medical procedure that they had to do for this person. I think that at least this, and I think in that case the other person was dead, so that it was not too creepy or something. But yeah. But yeah, the Eyes of the Face was a really good creepy movie with great. It was really a beautiful movie, and I know that's kind of weird to say about a horror movie, but if you've seen Suspiria, that's a really gorgeous horror movie, and I really like that one too. Since I'm on the subject of these movies, I'm going to talk about. I also watched a really freaky. Well, not freaky. It was something I should have watched right before bed, and that's Perfect Blue. It's an anime film. I don't think so. I have to hear it. Excuse me. Perfect Blue. It's a really beautiful, really, WTF anime film that follows the career of a pop singer who wants to become an actress and wants to become part of a TV show, and she slowly becomes famous and everything, and she slowly starts losing her mind, or at least that's what you're led to think. Even I don't want to give the whole plot away. I kind of gave it away just by saying that, but she's starting to lose her mind and not knowing what's real and what's fake and what's all in her mind and what's on the show. Everything gets mixed up, and it's really awesome. Even this movie is responsible for much of Black Swan's success. The director, David Aronofsky, however you pronounce his name, kind of stole bits from this movie. They're both very different films, but if you look at them, watching Perfect Blue, I was like, oh wow, you really ripped this movie. I don't know if I'd call it a direct ripoff. They're both pretty different, but they're both very similar at the same time. Because there's things he just took right from underneath that movie. But yeah, I like both movies, but Perfect Blue was a lot more. It was almost a little more interesting than Black Swan. Even I loved Black Swan, and that was a good movie. But Perfect Blue kind of took it to a whole other level by the end of it, and I loved the twists and turns the movie took, and it was I love really, really gorgeous anime films, and this was a really pretty one, and really, what the heck is going on? Which was a lot like Paprika, which I saw earlier this year, that I loved, and that was the inspiration some of the inspiration behind Inception, and that dealt with dreams and people going into the dream world, and finding out people's secrets by doing that, or actually I think the initial thing with Paprika, or the technology of Paprika, was to help crazy people or something, or help people, or maybe not crazy people, but people with some sort of brain psychosis or something, to help them with that. So yeah, that was a very. They're both very interesting movies. They're both from a great anime director who I sadly found out that passed away. Um, I mean, I didn't know him or anything, but he made some. I need to watch more of his movies because those two movies were really great. Both dealt with dealing with what's real, what's not real, and just you know, it was it's such great movies. And I'm just kind of finding excuses to find other movies to talk about, but those are pretty much the big ones I watched recently that could be talked about on the show. Yeah, Perfect Blue was amazing. It just so much crazy imagery going on, and I mean it's also not for everybody. There's some scenes that are very graphic. I gotta say, yeah, that's all I'll say. It's really graphic in a couple places. It's not most anime. It's an anime film that's not for kids. That's all I'll say. It's not for kids. Not really good. I don't know. I like the kind that's good for either or, but mostly I really like the ones that are adult mostly. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Yeah, next time I'm on here, I'll be talking about my experience with Man with the Heads of Fate on the big screen. And hopefully, I'm really hoping they get they're gonna redo Hired as well. I've heard rumors. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I really hope they're doing Hired right before the movie. That'd be so much fun. So, anyways, I can't wait. I'm really excited for this. I mean, sometimes I keep forgetting about it, at least until I look at my calendar, or I look up where my tickets are in my closet. And I go, oh, yes, 2 weeks, and I can't wait. So anyways, until next time.